Thank you so very much for staying with Antigua, Barbuda today. As we said, the very best morning program anywhere on TV, on radio, online. Our first hour, the news hour, and at 6:30, we go in-depth on an issue that we think you need to know more about. We get far more contextual information on a subject. And this morning, our subject is a nexus between sports and national development. Because there is really no difference between sports and national development. Sports is a vehicle, one of the best vehicles for national development. And on the individual level, it inures to the benefit of our young people because it gives them an opportunity for personal and professional development. And what else epitomizes this more than a combine that is now being held to identify football talent, budding football talent in this country for scholarship opportunities at William Penn University and Drake University. Well, the two coaches who are here to identify that talent, they have been brought in by GN Sports Club, the GNFC, and they're here to identify talent. They started yesterday, and it's happening at the ABFA Technical Training Center at Painters. They've started yesterday, and they will continue this evening and tomorrow evening. They're here, and they leave the island on Thursday. They'll be here with us to talk about what they've seen so far and what they expect to see for the next 2 evenings at Painters. Very good morning to Jaynee Highcock from William Penn University, and to Jamie's left is Kevin Brennan from Drake University. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Excellent. All right, so Jaynee Highcock, Kevin Brennan. Let me start with Jaynee. What's the experience yesterday from what you've seen?
It was fantastic. The kids come out and they really put on a good show for us. We started with the men, and we probably had about 50 kids there, and then we added a few more as the session went on, and they seemed really hungry to show us what they could do. They were ready to learn. They come with a great attitude to the game. We obviously had a few classroom sessions with them prior in the week, so we maybe touched on some of the questions that they had then regarding some of the academic concerns. But they did very well, and then the women followed after, and they really give it their all as well. So it was a good evening.
Excellent. And Kevin?
No, we were really pleased with the numbers on the boys' side. I think age range, maybe the youngest guys we had were about 14, 15, up to maybe 21, 22-year-olds, which is the range that we can recruit from.
Yes.
Some really hungry young guys who wanted to get out there and play. The girls' numbers, we were hoping to be a little bit better. Hopefully the next few days they'll improve. But in terms of talent and ability, we were really, really pleased.
Excellent. And just a reminder of viewers and our listeners that for the males, the age range is between 16 and 20 years of age, and for females, it's 15 to 19 years. What are the numbers of scholarships that you're looking for, gentlemen, in terms of for both of the universities, for William Penn and Drake? Let me start with William Penn. How many are you looking at?
We're looking for anyone that's good enough, really, academically and athletically. When we were here in May, we actually signed 2 kids from Antigua, so we have 2 on our team already. And we're hoping to sign at least another 2 guys and hopefully 1 girl, at least from what we saw yesterday. But our scholarship is a little bit different system because we're in different divisions. But if they're academically and they're athletically good enough, we're going to look at them all. And we want this to be a regular thing that we can keep coming and keep offering scholarships, not just for our universities as well, for our contacts and connections. We want to provide these professional opportunities overseas. Obviously scholarship opportunities overseas, or even soccer academies overseas. So it's more than sometimes just what we're looking for. We're also looking for other aspects as well.
Excellent. So you're looking at at least 2, are you saying at least 2 overall, over what you would have seen yesterday? In other words, I'm looking at overall for the 3 days you're here.
Yeah.
How many scholarships you're looking?
I would say at least 2 guys, and at least 1 girl, but ultimately, it just depends on how good they are athletically and academically. But the signs were very good from yesterday, and there was some good talent on the field.
Excellent. And in terms of Kevin?
Our parameters are a little bit different. It's, like Jamie said, it's a matter of talent and how good they are, but it's also very, very important that the academics are right for my particular university, just because we are quite specific in what we can accept and what we can bring in. So it's not a matter of numbers in terms of scholarship. It's more, what amount of the kids out there match the profile of our particular university. But then moving forward, we want to just provide a platform for these players to showcase their talents elsewhere in the United States. We're helping with Ricky and GNFC and the ABFA to help these kids and educate these kids on what the process can look like and how they can help maybe identify a university in the States other than ours that works for them.
Excellent, because there are other possibilities as well, gentlemen, apart from your universities. And for example, for those who might be very good in terms of their football talent and their football skills, who might not necessarily have met up to the specific academic requirements, there are other opportunities available. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so our universities obviously go in different realms, academically, athletically, higher and different levels respectively. But yeah, there's also, if we can find the stand-up soccer player, so to speak, we might be able to send him straight to a professional club. If there's a youngster who is very talented and fits in certain requirements, we could maybe send him to a professional academy either overseas in Europe or some of the professional academies that they have in the USA. So yeah, there's lots of things that we're taking into consideration when we're looking at the kids.
Very good. You mentioned that this could open the door for more frequent trips, for example, more frequent collaborations with, for example, GNFC and other sporting bodies here. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, like we talked about, we were down here in May and we were working with the ABFA during the Women's World Cup qualifying campaign and made some fantastic contacts, and we got to know Ricky and the guys at GNFC, and really for myself and Jamie, our eyes were open to just how much talent there is on the island, and really I think just a few little tweaks and maybe a few little trips back and forth for us to help really cultivate that talent and then create a platform for them to get recruited to the United States is very, very realistic, and is something that we'd love to help out. We both work in the United States, but we're not from America. We're English originally, as you can probably tell from the accent.
Yes, I hear that.
And so we were the same. We were young, aspiring football players, and we had the opportunity to go and study and get a degree in the States, and now we have a career in football. And really, we just want to help other kids see that path and see that reality and hopefully realize that reality.
Excellent. I'm going to be asking you shortly about the kind of nexus between the academics and the sports, because there are still some parents who want to see almost as mutually exclusive. It's one or the other. It's either you do well in academics or you do well in sports. And they don't understand that you can actually do well in both. And in fact, it is good to encourage your young people to do well in both because it makes them more rounded. But before that, let me ask you about, in terms of your football programs at your respective universities, how well do you do? I mean, what's been your level of achievement? Let me start with Jamie in terms of William Penn. What has William Penn been doing in terms of football?
We had our biggest and most successful year this past year. We finished 14-5. We broke every school record in history, which was wins, shutouts, consecutive wins, highest league position, and we got up to number 18 in America. So in the whole of America, we got to number 18 in the nation, which was a major factor. We got a new stadium, we got a new locker room, we signed a big contract with Nike, and we've been having great success. But this year, it was probably our most successful, or certainly was, the most successful season in school history. So we're doing really big things at William Penn. We're sending guys to the pros regularly. We have 21 nationalities on our team. So it's a great place to be, and hopefully we can find some more talent. We have 2 Antiguans already. We have kids from Haiti, Bahamas, Barbuda on our team, and we want to help Antigua though. Antigua is what we want to help. They've helped us by sending us players, and we want to keep giving more, getting more on the team. I'm the head men's and women's coach. We want to get some females in the team as well, and we're trying to work with everyone here to make both things happen.
Excellent. Let's talk about the 2 Antiguans. How have they been doing?
They've been very good. So we've got Johan Derek, which was a guy who transferred in from a university that he was playing in America, plays centre-back for us, very good player, suffered a little bit of injuries, but still was a big part of our success. And then we've got Shalon Knight, who's currently on the U20 national team, who's played for the senior national team, who we worked alongside many people with in Antigua to get him into America. We signed him very late. I didn't actually think we were going to almost sign him at times, but he'd come in, and he's a fantastic kid, fantastic player. And honestly, if it wasn't for 2 of those guys, we wouldn't have had such a successful season. They're getting a lot of publicity. They're putting our school nationally on the map, and we're hoping that we can send them to the pros.
Excellent, excellent. So there is a clear path for success, and in others, these are shining examples to show that students from this country have done well academically and in terms of football, and they're there to light the way for others. What about Drake University?
Yeah, we've done, last couple of years, we've done quite well. I think in the last 4 years, We won our conference twice. We finished second this year. We've been very close. We've got right to the last game before qualifying for the national tournament, which is kind of the biggest stage that there is in the sport in our country. So, yeah, we've done very, very well. We're kind of at the edge where we need, we need a difference maker. We need maybe that little X factor and.
You need a talisman.
Absolutely.
Or two.
And maybe there's an Antiguan talisman out there for us.
Excellent, excellent. I didn't get to ask you in terms of the numbers you're looking for Drake University for scholarships. I'd asked Jamie, but not you.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's probably, it's maybe a little bit smaller. It's not so much a matter of how many we have. It's whether we can find that one or two, those one or two players who academically are the right fit and also soccer-wise were the right fit. So,
excellent.
Yeah, we're hopeful that we can find a couple.
Excellent. So there's still an opportunity of course, you'll see more talent this evening.
Correct.
And tomorrow evening.
Correct.
You leave the island on Thursday. When will you make a determination about scholarships and about the successful participants?
Well, we saw most of their athletic abilities on the field last night, and over the next few days we'll see more of it. We'll go in more research and depth to their academic abilities now, and then if it all matches up, then hopefully we can really start putting things in writing and having some serious conversations. This is just the start for them, so hopefully we can provide them that platform, and then we can kick on from there. So we should know within the next few days, basically, to answer your question.
Few days.
Yeah.
Okay. After you would have left.
Yeah.
And after you would have gone back, done some drilling down in terms of their academics, especially having seen their athletic skills. Same thing for you, Jim?
Yeah,
Brennan?
I think so. And also, we're working with some of the younger guys. On the we had males and females last night who were 14, 15, and so really. This is as much an identification as it is an education moment for them, and we're saying, hey, as a 15-year-old, you're quite good. You need to continue focusing on your studies and your academics as well as your football ability. And then in the next 12 months, 18 months, that's when we can really start to bring them out to the States. So, for those players who are old enough right now, like Jamie said, in the next days and weeks is when we'll make determinations. But for those younger guys, it's very much right now about kind of making a clear path for them and showing them that path and hopefully helping them walk down that path.
Excellent. Let's talk about showing them that path. Let's talk about the path of both sport development and also academic development. And the fact that both work hand in hand. What do you say to those parents who are still a little bit skeptical as to whether or not their children should be participating in sports, should be focusing so much attention on sports? So, for example, there are those parents who think that after school, when their children should be doing academic homework, should not be the time when they should be participating in training for sports. What do you say to those parents, having been yourselves, both yourselves, recipients of scholarships for sports? Let me start with Kevin.
Yeah, there's studies have been done on this that athletes actually on an average, athletes have higher grades than non-athletes, and there's a multitude of factors that come into play. Ultimately, the biggest one is having that discipline and that time management and that focus. And in the States, it's one before the other, if that makes sense. You are a student athlete, and unless they're getting good grades in the classroom, unless they're doing their homework, getting assignments in on time, they're not able to participate in the sports.
Yes.
And very quickly, the players kind of get conditioned, and the students get conditioned to understand that is part of their routine. And yeah, it really, really helps them to know that I have 3 hours to play soccer, and then I have 3 hours to study afterwards. So yeah, we find that when you take away the soccer, it actually affects their grades.
Because the time management is not there, and the kind of discipline and the commitment to the task is not there. What about you,
Yeah, it's exactly right. If you don't meet grade requirements, excuse me, you can't play soccer. So they really come hand in hand. And when we do travel on long bus rides or long flights to play games, we set up study halls. They have to study on the bus. They don't just get a day off. If we get back from bus trip at 5 a.m. in the morning, they've still got to go to class at 7 a.m. in the morning. Because ultimately, if you don't pass school, you don't play soccer, and then obviously you're not playing soccer, you don't get the academics. So we want them to say that staying in school is good for soccer, and playing soccer is good for school. It's a very slim amount of people that can play professional soccer, but no one can ever take that degree away from you. You know, you get it for 4 years, you put it in. Obviously, the degree you receive in America is usually very strong. So yeah, we get the balance right, and it really helps our student athletes.
Excellent. So a word to the parents. Please encourage your students, encourage your children to play sports, because there's that symbiosis. There's a symbiotic relationship between sports, doing well in sports and doing well academically. Let me ask you about the collaboration with GN Sports Club, which I think GN Sports Club, GNFC, football club, GN Football Club has done an extraordinary job in terms of unearthing talent, in terms of nurturing talent and providing vehicles for opportunity. What do you make of their work, Kevin?
Yeah, we've been bowled over by the welcome from GNFC and from Ricky. Like I said, we were here in May, and we were working kind of exclusively with the ABFA, and we got to meet Ricky and GNFC, and everybody's been wonderful. And certainly with GNFC, they seem to be focusing on creating pathways for those players to continue progressing and developing, and then move on. So we've been really impressed overall.
Excellent. And
yeah, it's been fantastic. We can see there's a clear vision in youth soccer. We're trying to create more ways about female soccer. That's one thing that we really do want to stress. We've been going around to a number of Caribbean islands now, and we really want to promote the female side of soccer. We really want to enhance that and help that. But ultimately, we just want to impact the youth, and through Ricky's club and through GNFC, we have seen that, you know, he's got some good pathways. He's very organised in what he does, and he's trying to do the right things. We're trying to do the right things. He's trying to do the right things. So it's working very well so far.
Let me ask you finally, gentlemen, both your perspectives. If you were to, for example, from what you've seen so far, you weren't here in May, you're back here now to look at unearthing fresh talent. If you were to identify one area, one or two low-hanging fruit for the football officials in this country to drive the football program, to take it to the very next level, both in terms of the male and the female side, what would it be? Let me start with you, Kevin.
I think the female side, it has to be kind of collaboration and integration. You know, I think there are some very, very good players here. I think that there needs to be more encouragement and more cohesion in simply, you know, showing up to some of these events. And it maybe instead of the teams kind of operating in separate silos, you know, creating a league for them all to play in, and then when they get together for the national team, there's much more understanding and cohesion between them. And then, like Jaynee said, certainly there's an incredible amount of money and resources in the female side of soccer. You know, in the United States, it's the highest supported, financially, it's the highest supported sport in the country. So, yeah, for the women, that's what I would recommend.
Excellent. And this is for the national program I'm talking?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, excellent. And
I think, yeah, regarding, you know, the bigger picture, there needs to be an investment in youth. You know, you need to almost put winning aside now, and you need to development on the future. We've seen it being from England, seeing our national programs, being in the USA, seeing their national programs. You can't always win now. But if you do the right things at the grassroots and at the youth level, get full-time coaches, you know, build leagues and infrastructure, then you will have more higher rewards in 5 to 10 years, because there's so much potential in Antigua. There are some terrific players, and the name in its Antigua is such a powerful name around the world. And, you know, when we go back to the USA and we say we're in Antigua, everyone's always like, wow, 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 it's a great country. And it's a fantastic country with amazing resources. But I do think it's underachieving at the national level. But I see the youngsters and the group of players that are coming through now, in 5 or 10 years, these guys can be terrific, but a few things need fine-tuning for them to reach the Gold Cup and then to reach the World Cup, because you've got to reach the Gold Cup maybe before you reach the World Cup. But the potential's here. It's just a case of unearthing it.
for the next 2 evenings, what would you say for the youngsters, who are both males and females, who are going to be showing off their talent to yourselves at the ABFA Technical Training Facility? What would you say to them, finally? Starting with you, Kevin.
Yeah, if they haven't already signed up and registered, just to get onto the GNFC website or social media and follow the links so they can get registered, and then we can be aware of them. And then for those who are already registered, keep listening, keep doing what we've been asking for them, keep training hard and showcasing their talents.
Excellent. And final word?
Yeah, we would like to see a few more females if we're really getting specifically into detail. But we want this to be a regular thing. We want to come here at least once or twice a year. We want to maybe get involved some role or some capacity with football in Antigua. So we want to help not just these kids for the next 2 days, but we want to leave them with a lasting experience that if they go to school, if they go to soccer training, that they add some of the things in that we've been talking about. Like Kevin said, if they come ready and they come on time to work hard, we're looking forward to seeing them over the next few days.
All right, Jaynee Highcock, William Penn University.
Thank you very
and
much.
Kevin Brennan from Drake University. Our absolute pleasure having you, gentlemen. And we hope that you will be able to unearth more talent over this evening and tomorrow evening.
We hope
really
so.
appreciate it. And we hope that there are more students who get the opportunity to shine through football scholarships. It is a nexus between sports and academics, which is